Francisco, you see all that pink just highlighted around our communities, our homes. That's the tsunami warning that's impacting everywhere throughout San Francisco, down along the bay, across our bay bridges, and all the way up closer to Napa and Sonoma, too. This was at 10:44 this morning, 62 miles just offshore of Ferndale, and we're now seeing the impacts from that here locally. And, of course, the National Weather Service also made another comment, too. The estimated tsunami start time for selected areas in our communities, San Francisco alone expected to see those waves really coming in around 12:10. That's within the next 30 minutes, and we continue to keep a close eye on that here at KPIX. Reed?
And check on your neighbor. This is just one of those moments. You heard the fire captain there say, listen, check on your neighbors. Get to that higher ground. Make sure that somebody you know next to you is also doing the same. And if they can't, help them out. This is a time when community is so important. You know, in situations like these, you often start to see touchstones, human touchstones to the story. I just got this from the San Rafael City School District. This school district covers many schools there in San Rafael, and San Rafael has portions that are right there at the water's edge. They are saying they are aware of the tsunami warnings, but they want to let parents know that emergency officials are in touch with all schools, and at this time, all students and staff are safe. The school day, at least in San Rafael, is continuing as normal. That's a contrast to what we saw, Liz, down in Pacifica, where young people are being evacuated up to Oceana High School.
Yeah, that's right, Reed. And we're hearing that BART is actually holding trains to the Transbay Tube out of precaution for this. And we're still, you know, kind of seeing how the different communities along the coastline there. Okay, hold on. My producer's talking to me real quick. Say that again, Dave. Okay, we're hearing they're also clearing trains out of underground stations as well. Now we're hearing several schools are evacuated. And earlier, about 10 minutes ago, we spoke with the captain with the San Francisco Fire Department, saying that if you live near the coast, I'm talking if you live in San Francisco, if you live in the outer Richmond,
right,
if you live over by Ocean Beach, you live near the Marina area, very densely populated areas. If you go to school in one of those areas, check on your kids. They're probably looking for ways to get to higher ground. Also along, you know, if you can see a bridge or you can get to a bridge easily from where your home is in San Francisco, chances are you need to move to higher ground. You know, the fire captain said right now there's not necessarily an evacuation point. They're working on that now. I'm anticipating some information coming on that. But when in doubt, move to higher ground.
So they're saying at approximately 3:10 there in California, I mean 12:10 in California, which is 3:10. So this could happen in the next half hour. That's what they're saying. Now, I don't know. We're just going to watch. This is coverage of CBS News. I got the alert on my phone. Breaking news. Like 10 minutes ago, I said, I got to stream this. This is crazy. You got to see the traffic getting out of there, the evacuations. This is serious. Because they usually call it off if they think it's a false alarm, but they're evacuating. So let's just keep watching.
Because we had talked about the magnitude 7.0 earthquake. Trying to give you an idea of how big of an earthquake this is. Loma Prieta in 1989, that was a 6.9 earthquake. Northridge in 1994, that was a 6.7. And probably the most recent that at least we remember here in Northern California, and Napa in 2014, that was a 6.0 earthquake. You also talked about, with Brian Hackney, talking about the extent of the potential tsunami that might be hitting the coast of California, and if indeed a tsunami is triggered. He was talking about the size of the earthquake related to the extent of the tsunami. Probably the two most recent things that are ingrained, at least in my mind, when you talk about tsunamis and damages, you're thinking about Japan. That tsunami in 2001, well, that was sparked by a 9.0 earthquake. So that's a huge difference, a 9.0 versus a 7.0 earthquake. And then, of course, in 2004, you have that big tsunami in the Indian Ocean. That was sparked by a 9.2 or 9.3. So there you have your comparison about how strong the tsunami may or may not be versus a 7.0. But we're looking at some video right now of some damage happening in some different areas right now. I believe this is in Alamo. They felt some shaking at this pool right there. And so, as you know, when the earthquake hits a pool, the water starts sloshing in and out. But the good news is the epicenter of this earthquake, even though it's extremely strong and it's off the coast of Northern California, it's in a very remote area, so there's not a lot of large buildings. And so not a lot of things that can come toppling down. But we're working to get some images coming off from the Victoria Inn in Ferndale. And you can see, and from that video, once we get that up running, you can see a lot of bottles on the ground. The door of the inn, the historic inn, has fallen down, and the bar the bar area is closed.
Remember, that's from the initial quake, the shaking, but now they're expecting the tsunami.
Area up past the Oregon coast. We're keeping a very close eye. I think you had mentioned that a lot of people are kind of timing the potential tsunami, and then you're seeing a lot of people right now. They're getting to high ground, and you have a lot of looky-loos. There's a lot of video and pictures of people on top of Fort Mason looking down at the bay. They're in a safe location, but they're trying to witness what potentially might be a tsunami coming into the San Francisco Bay.
Thank you, Ryan. I want to get to Angie, who works out of Humboldt. And Angie, are you on the phone? Can you hear me okay? Angie, are you there?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Hi,
I can
Angie.
hear you.
It's Elizabeth with CBS News Bay Area. I heard that we're hearing that you felt the earthquake. What was that like? Tell us about the shaking, that initial quake.
It was pretty frightening. It all happened so suddenly. We're all moving around trying to get the restaurant ready for opening. We opened in less than 10 minutes, and all of a sudden it just started shaking. We're also out of breath from running out and grabbing everything that was important and grabbing each other. The first thing we worried about was just grabbing one another and getting out of there.
Sure. And where have you gone now? Have you moved to higher ground?
Well, there isn't really any immediate higher ground near us. We're right at the edge by the river, right here at the Rio del River, the Eel River. And so the first thing was just to get outside, but there isn't any real higher ground like directly next to us. We'd have to run a couple blocks.
And we're hearing the power is out to most of that area. Are you seeing that where you are?
Yeah, we have no power. We're unable to open the restaurant. We're currently just trying to assess the damage, clean up a little bit, and then keep the refrigerators closed. Since there's no power, we don't want anything else spoiling any further.
And what are crews in the area telling you? Are you seeing a lot of emergency crews going around telling folks to try to get out of there?
Yeah, we went to the bar right attached to the building, and we went to go check on her, and she was very distraught. And then we checked on the neighboring stores, made sure everybody got out okay, and it looks like everyone got out okay.
And Angie, what's the plan moving forward here? I mean, there's still a tsunami warning for that area. Are you moving to another area? Are you staying outside where it's safer in case there is another earthquake? We know there's been some aftershocks.
Well, for the first few minutes, we were remaining outside, but everybody's just so on edge. We decided to go check on the neighboring stores, make sure everyone got out all right. And then once that was done, we came back, and right now we're just assessing the damage and trying to clean up a little bit. But we'll probably move once everybody gets back with their kids. My bosses went to go pick up their kids, and then we should be heading out of here.
Right, and talk to us about the communication in these areas, because all of the emergency responders from the Oregon coast all the way down to where we are in San Francisco and beyond are saying stay in touch with these alerts, pay attention to these alerts. Okay, what kind of communications are you getting there in Humboldt County? If the power is off, are you just limited to cell phone communication?
Yeah, we're just working with the phones. Thankfully, we have a landline that we're using right now.
Paint us a picture, because we saw some of the images out of a business there. It looked like it was powerful enough to rip a door off the hinges and shake up things quite a bit. Paint us a picture. If you were calling on the cell phone and you were telling somebody out of state what you're seeing, what are you seeing?
Well, I'm seeing a lot of pieces of the drywall everywhere. We're in a very old building, so we tried to quickly get out, but the doors of the refrigerators are swinging open. Things are falling out of the refrigerator, and then chunks of the wall, we could hear it cracking and see it cracking. And so right now we're just trying to sweep up all the mess from the broken chunks of wall.
Okay, Angie, thank you so much. Important to get your perspective. We will be checking back in with you, hoping that you and everyone in your community are safe. But Liz and Jess, this is just important to talk about here, because they were the closest. They are the touchstone to what is now the ripple effect to all of us down in the San Francisco Bay Area. Once again, we're watching our clock. We hope you are as well. It's 11:46 right now, Pacific time, 12:10, the first time that we will see those tsunami warnings deliver on the impacts.
And speaking of the timeline of this, too, this earthquake happened just an hour ago at 10:44. The time now is 11:47, and as we are continuing to keep a close eye on that tsunami warning, we're watching the aftershocks. You can see it on your screen to the top left. There's been 10 aftershocks.
So 3:10 Eastern time. They're expecting possible impacts from a tsunami. So possibly. We won't know until that time frame starts. So that's in about, what, 20 minutes? No, not even, 15 minutes. So we'll keep an eye on this.
Map to the left of your screen, widespread throughout that coastline, anywhere from southern Oregon all the way down into the Bay shoreline near San Francisco, Bodega Bay, down closer to Santa Cruz too. We're now under a tsunami warning until further notice. And when the National Weather Service does issue a tsunami warning, the first thing you need to do, immediately take action. This is a dangerous situation. A tsunami could become widespread. There could be widespread flooding due to the tsunami, and that's either expected or occurring. So the National Weather Service says the dangerous coastal flooding and powerful currents are possible, and they're going to continue throughout the next several hours. And that's what we're seeing right now. Reed mentioned 12:10. That's when they said they're reported to see that really crest into the San Francisco shoreline. Liz?
And I want to make sure we get to this evacuation order out of Berkeley. You mentioned communities all across the Bay Area are impacted by this. Berkeley police issued an evacuation order for West Berkeley, warning people to stay east of 7th Street and telling folks if you are in the tsunami zone. We have those areas up on your screen right now. Berkeley Waterfront, Tom Bates Fields, West Frontage Road, I-80 Freeway, and Aquatic Park in Berkeley. You need to move away from the shoreline. We just got this alert from the Berkeley Police Department recommending folks in that area to move away from the coastline. We're also hearing BART has shut down service in the Trans-Bay Tube due to that earthquake. They're telling folks to find a different way to get across the bay. And we're also hearing they're evacuating some trains as well.
Yeah, and as we start to see the impacts of this, that's the update from the East Bay in Berkeley. We anticipate more East Bay updates. But we also want to let you know what's going on in Eureka right now. And then after that, we're going to talk about an alert, a tsunami warning now issued for San Rafael. But let's go ahead to our guest who is on the phone right now. You are in Eureka. Tell us what you're seeing so far and what kind of warnings are going out to your neighbors.
So we have a large homeless population that's out on the lowlands, and so we are evacuating them right now.
So, and we do know that many of our homeless community, unhoused community, do tend to congregate in those water areas. During flooding events, we have seen tragedy after tragedy here in the Bay Area just from rising waters from that. What's the effort then to get people out, those unhoused people in those waterway areas?
Yeah, we've got officers helping move people, and it was a very rolling earthquake. I was standing on the street. It was very gentle but long. And right now we are, there's a few traffic collisions. We have a bridge that is being blocked. We're trying to get people over it. So far it doesn't look like there's too much building damage, but we are just trying to get people to higher ground.
And Laura, you're with the Eureka. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Laura.
If there is a tsunami.
Yeah, and Laura, I just want to reiterate this. If there is a tsunami warning, what are you telling people in your community to do? What are the police urging folks to do right now?
It's hard to hear you, but I'm saying just people need to get to higher ground. And we will let people know when the tsunami warning has been lifted, but it could probably going to be several hours, and we just ask people to be patient.
And are there evacuation evacuation areas that the police department or the fire department has designated in the Eureka area for folks to go yet?
I don't have those in front of me right now, but if our social media shows a map of the areas that are...
I'm getting a report that they didn't...
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that. And speaking to social media, I'm also monitoring the Neighborhood app, and you are encouraged to monitor any stream of information you can get to help your neighbor. This just came in from the city of San Rafael. So now we're going to jump up into the North Bay. They are advising all people in those coastal and bayfront areas of San Rafael to move to higher ground. Also, They say the tsunami is expected to hit up north at 12 p.m., according to the people with the city of San Rafael. The emergency management officials at Marin County have also issued an alert. They are saying Marin County's ocean and bay coastlines should expect 12 p.m. So listen, we've been telling you 12:10 p.m. for San Francisco Bay Area. Further north, up into Marin County, they are saying noon. So if you are listening to us in Marin County, especially out at Point Reyes, et cetera, up in the north, be aware that in 7 minutes you will start to see that water crest and go higher. They are saying if you are unable to go to higher ground in Marin County, stay away from harbors, stay away from coastal and low-lying areas until further notice. And Jess, we're understanding that there are 3 levels to these tsunami warnings: a water level, an advisory level, and a warning level. We are at level 3 in that warning.
Which is the one where we need to take immediate action. Exactly. Now, the National Weather Service has issued this. It's dangerous along those coastal areas for coastal flooding and powerful currents that are definitely possible right now. Another thing to mention, too, though, is we take a look just at the earthquake aftershocks. We continue to monitor this closely, but by the numbers, what the USGS just reported is our aftershock forecast for this specific earthquake. As of now, so about a 5% chance that we'll see anything above a 6.0. As we take a look at the lower percentages, about a magnitude 4.0, where there's still about an 87% chance that we could see one throughout the next week after this. And I think that's important to note, too, because we're monitoring in live time. There's community members all throughout that coastline, closer to Eureka, Trinidad, Humboldt County, all along that coast, still feeling the aftershocks. But there's a 99% chance, issued by the USGS, that we will still continue to see more magnitude 3.0 earthquakes as an aftershock after we've seen this strong magnitude earthquake just off the San Andreas fault line impact those community members. And we've been seeing the community members up there send in video and live video of what it looks like right now. It was a rolling earthquake for many community members up there. We saw the aftershock still impacting them. And now the big concern has to do with this tsunami warning that's still in effect right now along our coastline, impacting all the Bay Area here in San Francisco, Oakland, along those bay shorelines, all the way from Bodega Bay down into Half Moon Bay, too.
Yeah, it's important to note, Jess, on that map that you see there in that square on your screen, that includes the San Francisco Bay, which includes several communities. All right, let's start with San Francisco. We spoke to a San Francisco fire personnel, fire captain, who said if you live along those areas along the coastline, I'm talking about, Ocean Beach, Outer Richmond, down by the marina, over by Soma, if you can see a bridge from where you are, chances are you need to get to higher ground. Then you go across the bridge, you're talking about Sausalito, Tiburon, the people who live in the houseboats there, and then you go all the way to Berkeley. Folks in Berkeley are being told if you live along the waterfront to move to higher ground. I believe that was 7th Street. Folks are being told to go beyond 7th Street, move away from the water. When in doubt, move away from the water if you're along those coastal communities. We're also being told schools in Pacifica and the communities along there, along the coastline, are being evacuated. So bottom line is, if you live within a mile of the coastline from the beach.
So this is literally minutes away from supposed possible impact. They're saying the northern area is 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 noon local, and the Bay Area in San Francisco, 3:10 here Eastern, but 12:10 locally in San Francisco. So this is minutes away from possibly impacting.
And to just stay safe. Now, let's just really talk about some news you can use right here. This punctuates the importance of 2 words put together that we hear all the time here in the Bay Area, and that's go bags. Make sure that you grab your go bag. If you have 2 or 3 that keep you prepared for this, get it and get to higher ground. The most important thing that you can use right now is information. So that speaks to needing to have a battery in your bag that can keep your cell phone powered. We know that our friends up in Humboldt County, they are in the dark right now. Electricity is out.
I hate to interrupt you, Reed, but hold on. My producer, Dave, just gave me this important note of information. Say that again, Dave. Okay, we just got word from the National Weather Service that the tsunami threat in the Bay Area is over. Now, we're working to confirm that, but according to my producer, the National Weather Service, Jess, you have some new information as well.
I'll read it from the National Weather Service directly. The tsunami warning is canceled for the coastal areas of both California and Oregon. They're now stating that no tsunami danger is presently in this area, here in the Bay Area. So this will be the final warning from the U.S. National Tsunami Warning Center. That's the final message issued for all of our region, all throughout the Bay, all throughout our coastline in California. We just got this update from the National Weather Service. The tsunami warning is canceled for the coastal areas of California.
There it is. The all clear. They had all those people evacuate. It was like panic and chaos. I mean, that's preparation, and it's just been canceled. There was a large earthquake offshore, 7.0, and they went ballistic. I got the notifications on my phone. I was like, what is going on? And then I found the CBS News feed, and just now, it just got canceled. So, thankfully. But wow, the last few minutes have been like crazy. But again, the main thing, the tsunami warning has been canceled for the south area of the coastal Oregon and Northern California, the Bay Area and points north. So now they're just showing the aftershocks that they felt from the earthquake in local businesses, areas, but that's common. This year, and I'm going to end the stream because I came on just for this, because I got to get ready for work. But this year, I was sitting here. I don't remember. It was sometime in the summer. And there was an earthquake in Jersey, New Jersey. It was about 9:30 in the morning. I've never experienced an earthquake before, ever. I've experienced hurricanes, even a tornado nearby. Never experienced an earthquake. I'm sitting here working. And all of a sudden, it sounded like a truck. In the distance, you know, you hear like a big tractor trailer. Then it sounded like thunder. And then I felt it underneath my feet and where I'm sitting. I was like, oh, this is an earthquake. I saw the house swing. And I said, oh my gosh, this can't be happening. It was a 4.6 or something like that in Jersey, a little one. But I still felt it here. They felt it all the way to Connecticut. Mark D'Antonio felt it. So that's unnerving to see and hear things shaking and you see the house swaying a little bit. Because I could literally see the house moving. I was like, it's either the house is moving or I'm moving. Either one, but something's going on. But it was unnerving. It only lasted like 16 seconds. But it was a long 16 seconds. It felt long because I'm just looking at it and waiting for it to stop. And then it stopped. So I wouldn't want to live in California with these earthquakes. I couldn't deal with that. I just couldn't. Not for me. No, I'm not feeling that. I woke up to snow, but that's okay. But not earthquakes. I'm not for that. I don't know if I could ever be able to be comfortable living in an environment that has earthquakes commonly as they do in California. Those people are used to it. Good for them. I'm not one of those. Anyway, everybody, have a great day. Thank God they canceled the tsunami warning. Just got canceled like 5 minutes ago. Thankfully, because who knows what could have happened. On a more serious note. Anyway, everybody have a great rest of your Thursday. If you're tuning in, Galactic Wisdom is live, Mystical Awakenings, and UAP Crossfire. All live tonight. So I got to get ready. Anyway, everybody, be well, be blessed.